ladies and gentlemen, Coach Steve Hertz.
It's a real privilege and honor to be here tonight. I wish I could see better, but I will tell you that we flew into Denver yesterday, as a lot of the teams did, and I'm sure it took buses here to Colorado. We did that in 2001. We're lucky to do that. The scenery, obviously, is unbelievable. But my wife, Fran, and my sons, Jeffrey and Darren, flew in. We rented a car, and we drove from Denver to here today. And after a couple of hours, the driving was beautiful, but the roads are hard. When you live in Florida, it's very flat. And all the curves and going up and down, and as I'm going up the hills, I think I'm on the gas, but I'm only going 55 miles an hour, and I keep pushing and finally get to 65. But going down is a lot more difficult. And after a couple of hours, I went down really quickly, and all of a sudden it's 85 miles an hour. And there was a state trooper right on the right. This is true. And I went flying past him over 80 miles an hour. And of course, my wife would never say anything about that. But she reminded me that there was a state trooper right there. And within a few seconds, obviously, it started flashing. And I pulled over to the side, and he pulled me over, and license and registration. And do you know how fast you were going? Listen, you were going 80-something miles an hour. I said, I know, but we're from Florida, it's very flat, and all of a sudden you get these hills. He said, I understand that, I understand, but you are going 80-something miles an hour. And I said, well, I'm sorry that, it won't happen again. He says, well, I'm going to have to write you a ticket. Well, do what you have to do, but I said, well, I'm going to the JUCO World Series. The tournament every year. He says, yeah, I know all about that. And I said, well, I know Jamie Hamilton. He says, you do? I said, yeah. He said, okay, the fine's doubled. Obviously, he didn't do that. He gave us a warning. It is a true story. And he did give us a warning. Anyway, tonight is a special night. It's really special for all of you because I know how hard it is to get here. We tried for many years to get here, and it's hard. In the early 60s when Miami-Dade started playing baseball, they got here in 64, in 66, in 67. They won a national championship in 64, runners-up in 66. They were out here again 71, 74, and then it wasn't until 1981 that Miami-Dade South, and it's hard to explain about Miami-Dade because there's 3 different campuses, and different campuses did get out here at different times. But Miami-Dade South Campus got out here in 1981 and did win the national championship. So it was 20 years till we got back, and we did break through. We tried every year. The state of Florida is very difficult, as is a lot of other states, to try to win a state championship. And we got runner-up 4 times, banging on the door, couldn't get here. 2001, we got very lucky. We broke through. Actually, the state tournament lost the first game. And it's tough coming out of the loser's bracket, but we did, won 5 games, and got to come out here. And what an experience for those guys, and for me. Truly something that we cherish. Memories, the videos, the pictures, outstanding. And just a compliment again to what you guys do every year. It's incredible. The only thing I can think of is you guys are ready to play games, and we thought we were ready to play games, and we were in 2001. And we opened up with Texarkana, which was a very good team. But we had a little left-handed pitcher who was also very good, and he wound up striking out 13 players. He was 14-0 that year. We win the first game against Texarkana. I think it was 8-3. And lo and behold, we get a day off. It's not like that at the state tournament in Florida. You have to play every day, every day. And you have to have a great pitching staff in order to make it all the way through well. We get a day off, And say, well, our number 2 guy, he's very good. He's like a number 1. So we have a number 2 who's a number 1 going 2 days later. Great. And we're playing Cowley County. Cowley County obviously has been here quite a few times. And we're winning 3-1 in the 9th inning. And we've got 2 outs and nobody on. And I'm already preparing for the next day off. And then we'll play again the next day. I might even bring back the little lefty. He's got a rubber arm. He can pitch with 3 days rest. So this is all going on while there's 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 9th. And then Whitey Herzog, who some of you may know, his grandson is playing for Cowley County, and our pitcher throws him a nice 2-strike fastball away, and he hits a fly ball to left field, and I said the game's over. And as our left fielder went back to the fence, and the fence is, I don't know if it's changed, but it was 304 feet down the left field line. And Solomon Frieder went back to the wall and did this. And he reached over, and I thought he caught it, but it tipped off his glove, and it was a home run. So it made it 3-2. So we went out and talked to our starting pitcher, who, again, pitching very well. Don't worry, Coach, I'll get him. I'll get the next guy. Well, the next guy hit one about 430 feet over the left center field fence to tie it at 3-3. In extra innings, we brought in our closer, and he didn't really close it. So obviously, we lost that game, and those are tough losses. And we all know as players and coaches, we remember the highs, the lows, those close games that we won, close games that we lost. The next day we play North Central Texas, a very good team out of Texas, and they really beat us pretty good. And that was it for us. They went on and won the national championship. That was 2001. So that's our recollection, but you talk about great memories and recollections. And those were some. Anyway, 3 reasons really, in my opinion, why we're here tonight, while I'm here, while you guys are here. It comes from this. To be able to coach for 25, 30, or 40 years, whatever it is, you have to have a family that's supportive of what you do. Just like Chad and Derek said. And when I started out coaching early in 1970 at a high school, and my wife was teaching elementary school, and I'm teaching high school and coaching a high school team. And a year later, our first son is born, but I'm still coaching, and she's still teaching, and she's still shopping and cooking and cleaning and doctor's appointments and doing all the things that wives do for many, many years. And finally, after 3 years, she went back, she stayed home and really helped raise the kids, doing all those things, just as a lot of other guys or other coaches and wives do here. They don't get enough recognition. They really don't. In the early years, we as coaches, we don't realize it. We're too young and we're too engulfed with what we're doing. But when you look back and you get through the forest, so to speak, and see the trees, and you can see all the sacrifices that were made. It's incredible. And so I thank my wife, Fran, for all those years and things that she did over those years. Thank you, Fran. Also tonight, my 2 sons, Jeff and Darren, who were always most supportive during their growing up years and until this day. Always supportive of whatever we did, and we as coaches know that, we spend more time with other people's kids than we do our own. That's just the way it is. But when I did retire, Fran and Jeffrey and Darren, they put together an unbelievable video of a career of teaching and coaching and playing and all those things, and also a booklet with numerous people that were involved in my career, who I either played with or coached with or coached. And they all, and Darren and Jeffrey and Fran got these quotes and put together this book, which is tremendous. Took an awful lot of work and dedication. And I'm so indebted to them for all those things that they did to keep the memories of this career. So really, in recognition tonight, it is the wives, and you guys know that. It's the family first that puts all this together, that gives us the opportunity to do what we do because of what they do. So, at this point, I really just have to single those people out. Fran, if you would stand up, please. My wife, Fran. And also, we need to recognize Terry Coleman of Midland College. Terry, could you stand up, please? Sherry Keith of Connors State. Margaret Campbell of Walters State. Kim Murray of Neosha State. Megan Coaster of Kaskaskia College. Beth Wallace of Spartanburg Methodist. Tammy Forbes of Palm Beach State. Lori Engelhart of Cochise College. Candy Dill of Navarro, Texas, and Erin Fletcher of Central Alabama. If you ladies would stand up and be recognized. That's certainly number one. That's certainly number one. Number two is all the outstanding assistant coaches that we've had over the years. They put in the same time that we do as coaches, the quality time, the recruiting, the teaching, the helping to handle problems and situations on and off the field. We all know about that. There's so many names. I would leave people out, but I do have to mention a couple. Angel Rivera, who's not here tonight, but Angel was very significant in my coaching career in the early years in recruiting and bringing outstanding players into the program, not just Major League, eventually Major League players like Jamie Navarro, Omar Oliveras, Andres Torres, Jesus Feliciano, but very good college players like you guys are tonight. There's so many good college players here, and sometimes we get an opportunity to play professional baseball and maybe one day realize a dream of playing in the big leagues. The other people I want to recognize too. In 2004, late in my career, I was lucky to hire two very good coaches who helped us the last 6 years to keep Miami-Dade in the national limelight. 2004, we brought on board an outstanding pitching coach named Kevin Long, who is still with Miami-Dade today, and he does a tremendous job with the program. And I want to thank Kevin for all he's done. Also, at the same time, we were lucky enough to hire a young, up-and-coming coach named Frankie Damas. Frankie's here tonight, and he became our recruiting coordinator, helped out in so many different areas. He brought in tremendously talented players for over 5 years. He did such a good job that he was offered the FIU assistant job, and we lost him in around 2008. And Frankie is currently the associate head coach at FIU University. Frank, stand up. I want to thank Frank Damas. And of course, we never forget, again, all the players, all the horses that we've had over the years. And again, not just talking about the guys that went into professional baseball and into the big leagues. They're far and few between. The majority of the guys are very good college guys, high character, low maintenance, who have an opportunity after 2 years of junior college to go to a 4-year university, get a college degree. If you get a chance to play pro ball, great. It's the cherry on top of the cake. But those are the guys and the people that we thank all through the years. And again, for the players that are here tonight, just for some incentive, I think you need to hear about some of the players at Miami-Dade, not unlike some players at some of the other colleges here that went on to sign professional contracts and maybe play in the big leagues. But these stories are for you because sometimes you think, well, maybe I'm not talented enough, or I don't have enough of this or enough of that. Well, if I could give you just 4 guys, starting with Mike Piazza, and I'm giving you 4 guys, names that you might know. Mike Piazza, of course, most of you know. He came to Miami-Dade in 1988. I did not coach him because there were 3 colleges at the time, Miami-Dade North, Miami-Dade Downtown, and Miami-Dade South. And I'm at the downtown campus, but Mike Piazza is at the North campus. And if you look back to 1988 and you saw Mike Piazza and you saw him play, you would say, he's okay. He's a first baseman, and he's an okay hitter with a little power, and that's all you would say. And at the end of 1988, Mike Piazza was drafted in the last round of the draft, the 62nd round. And that's only because his father was friends with Tommy Lasorda. And Tommy said, well, we'll draft him. We'll give him a chance to play in the rookie league maybe a year or two. And he'll say, I had a chance to play pro ball. So what does that tell you about scouting and figuring players out? There's some things you can't measure. And that's what we're talking about. You can't measure a kid's belief in himself and the confidence that he's had. And these are the things that Mike Piazza had. His work ethic was next to none. His perseverance through adversity was next to none. And the courage to face all these obstacles. And that's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So think about that, guys. Late rounds. That was Mike Piazza. And of course, lately, because of Raul Ibanez being with the Yankees. And how many guys remember what he did in the playoffs? Raul Ibanez. Okay. Raul Ibanez, he started out with the Mariners. He was drafted in the 37th round out of Miami-Dade South Campus. And we had a chance to get him at the downtown campus. We didn't, because when I sent my assistant coach to go see Raul Ibanez, he came back and he says, Coach, this guy can really hit. He hit 2 over the houses in right field. I said, well, let's sign him. He said, nah, let's not, because he's in a gang. You know, he's a senior, but he's in a gang in high school, and he's really not a good kid. So we said, okay, there's plenty of other kids out there, let's not sign him. That was a big mistake. Not only because at that time, you know, many kids sometimes get off course, but they get back on. Anyway, he went to Dade South. He was drafted in the 37th round in 1992. And it wasn't until maybe 2000, 2001, after he labored in the minor leagues for many, many years, he was brought up to Kansas City. If you ever Google Raul Ibanez stats, the only reason he's done what he's done, and he's 39 years old now, back with Seattle, it's the work ethic, it's the belief, it's the confidence, it's the, I'm not saying no, I don't care what round I'm drafted in, I'm going to put the time in, and every day is a new day, and I'll look in the mirror every morning and say, did I do everything I could do today to be the best I could do? Again, there's so many stories out there, and I don't want to go on too long, but I do want to tell you another quick one about a little infielder, and hopefully the name is in your minds also, who walked on to our college in 1993 as a walk-on with no scholarship. His name is Placido Polanco. He's had a 15-year major league career, a 300 hitter, led the National League in hitting 2 years in a row in batting average with 2 strikes. When he came, he's 145 pounds, 5'8", a tremendous glove, an average arm, an average hitter, and no power. Well, you can't project him, but a great kid, great work ethic, the whole bit. First there at practice, last guy to leave. He did it for 2 years. After the second year, he was drafted 19th round by the St. Louis Cardinals. And we said, you know what? He's such a good kid. He's such a good team guy. The work ethic, he could be a utility infielder maybe one day in the big leagues. Well, he's been an all-star. And it all comes from all those things we talked about earlier. And you guys have a lot of the same ability, maybe even more. But it takes more than the ability. And I'm sure your coaches have instilled some of those attributes that you need to move on to the next level and give yourself a chance to play at a higher level. And again, there's more, but I know I'm going on too long here, but I do want to thank a few other people for the opportunity to be here tonight. One is Red Berry. Red gave me my first job at Carl Park High School in 1970. Inherited a very good team from him. The other one is Charlie Green. Charlie and I were adversaries. We were colleagues. We coach against each other for years. He's been a good friend and colleague, outstanding coach at Miami-Dade South for many years, along with his assistant coach, Fred Burnside, who's been a friend and a colleague also at Miami-Dade College. I want to thank Harry Tholen. Harry Tholen was the first person to put up the nomination for me to have a chance to do this tonight. If it weren't for Harry to pursue this nomination, this wouldn't happen. Also to Rick Hitt, who is your National Junior College Athletic Association president. Rick and I coach against each other in the Southern Conference for many years. A great guy who couldn't have a better leader right now leading you. And also, obviously, thank you to the NJCAA committee for this honor. It's the highest honor I've ever received, and certainly appreciate it. One other thing, the coaches, I know tonight have received some handouts that we Xeroxed off. It has to do with really giving them to your players. Many times we get caught up with baseball, we get caught up with I'm 0 for 3, I cost the game, I gave up a 2-run homer. It's going to happen. You're going to have great days, you're going to have not so great days, you're going to win some championships, and you're not going to win some championships. It's all part of it. It's all part of the whole routine. So this article just will, when you read it, it will just keep your whole life and everything in perspective. So, let me finish quickly. Certainly congratulations to all of you who have made it here tonight. I know how hard it is to get here. Some teams will never get here. And you got most of the guys here tonight will do it one time. One time. It's hard to win a conference. It's even harder to win. Some of you guys have to win a regional. It's hard to do that, and certainly harder to win a national championship. Well, for most of you guys, maybe not so hard for Kyle Forbes. You know, Kyle's the head coach at Palm Beach State. He's only been the head coach here 3 years, and you know, the first year Kyle said, well, you know, I don't know what's so hard. He said, the first year I had to just kind of get things going, but my second year, we're state runners up. Now we figured it out, and we're state champs this year. That's so hard. Just kidding, Kyle. Anyway, Kyle's an outstanding coach. Palm Beach has a great team. They have great players, and congratulations to you guys for winning the Florida State Championship. Anyway, you guys, again, you're making great memories. You're making great friends here that are going to last a lifetime. And once again, there can only be one national champion, and you know yourself, we don't have to say it, everybody's a winner that's here tonight. So just remember to enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, do the best you can do. And lastly, I just want to say what we tell our players every year, and that's what Pete Rose said. Now, it's not what you're thinking about Pete Rose, but Pete Rose, one quote many years ago was, I play every game in practice like I'm a rookie, trying to make the team. We try to instill that to our team. You play like that every day. You wake up every day, you look in the mirror and say, I left it all on the field. That's all I can do. Anyway, thanks so much for everything.